I have some shit on my heart that I need to get off. Because I was gonna say what happened to the tattoo community, but I don't even know if it can be said, because I kind of think that the tattoo community for a very, very long time as a whole has been so incredibly, I don't know, man, spineless might be the right word, but it's somewhere between spineless and apathetic, ill-informed.
I'm so happy that I have a therapist and some restraint, because some of the that y'all do to me, I just want to hook my finger up in your ass.
Something I talk about a lot on my TikTok before I started my YouTube channel is like the concept of colonialization in tattooing and within the tattoo industry, the modern tattoo industry, Western, and cultural appropriation, because it runs rampant in the community ever since tattooing went from being a intimate cultural, spiritual practice done predominantly by like Black, Brown, Asian, Indigenous communities to a commodification and highly like commercialized just within the last, I'm cussing, I don't even know the last how many years, but when it started to hit the mainstream particularly, and it started to become more popular, more popularized by the dominant group of the populace. And I'm speaking from my perspective as someone who was born and raised in the United States. I can't really speak for globally, but I just noticed this heavy lean toward apathy when it comes to global issues, world news, things that are actively happening, and the ways in which the tattoo industry support or perpetuate harmful stereotypes, misinformation, platforming of practices and people who directly contribute to this like greater evil in the world, you know? And I can't say it's something that has always happened, because I don't know if it's something that has always happened. Like, I kind of have two schools of thoughts about tattooing and the tattoo industry, which is one, that tattooing was its own thing prior to the industry being erected and becoming such a powerhouse throughout the Western world. And yet at that time, like I said, it was something that was very cultural. It was very intimate. It was tied to groups, different tools and methods of tattooing and meanings behind tattoos, traditional and tribal tattoos. And then it became this thing where it's so elitist. It's difficult for a lot of people who are part of these groups who were the foundation of tattooing as a whole to even be able to get into the industry. It is so difficult for marginalized people, especially multi-marginalized people, to get started in the tattooing industry as it stands, and even if they are able to get started in it, to be successful in it. And so finding marginalized artists, finding multi-marginalized artists who are Black or brown and or queer and trans, all of these layered intersectional identities, it's really difficult. There's just such a smaller pool that you have when you are somebody who is like a tattoo enthusiast, tattoo collector, someone who even just likes casually getting tattooed, when you're trying to find somebody who will fit not only the style of tattoo that you want, but also is someone who you want to be permanently marking your body and to be sharing such an intimate space and time with, to affect you for the rest of your life. It's so hard to find people who look like you, who think like you, who act like you, who are in community with you. And that includes even on a political level. The number of artists who I see who are anywhere between, you know, centrist and apolitical is astounding. And it just like, it makes my stomach hurt, you know? It makes me sick, because how are you working in a field who at its core would not exist without Black, brown, Asian, indigenous people? And then you have this unwillingness to speak out for different communities, whether they be in your own country or outside of your country, whether they be part of your group or not. Typically it's not, right? You're not going to speak up for the communities you don't think of. You don't think of communities you are not part of, right? I don't even know what I'm trying to say with this. I want to see, at the bare minimum, the low bar bare minimum,
So the bar is in hell.
I want to see more tattoo artists being more aware of the things that they engage in, being more aware of the things that they support consciously or not. Today, I had some tattoo enthusiast, tattoo collector come up onto my page on my Instagram who is getting a tattoo done. I actually don't know if I can talk about this on YouTube without like getting my video like taken down or demonetized or something, but we'll say it's not real. The settlement of it's not real. Do we understand? Do we all know what I'm talking about? And then I proceeded to go to this artist's page, go to the shop's page, and it took all but a few seconds to do a quick scroll to see some of the previous posts that this page has and haven't been making for the last couple years that the genocide has been going on. Another word I don't know if I can use. So, and it just took me a couple scrolls to realize how much like misinformation is on their page, dog whistles on their page, lack of posts acknowledging the genocide that is currently being enacted by their settler state against the indigenous people of the land of Palestine. When I saw that, I was immediately disgusted. Immediately, I don't know, hurt feels like too intense because like I didn't follow this artist. I didn't know this artist. I didn't follow this tattoo collector, even though I have seen him before specifically. He has a very popular, well-known collection. But I think the thing that got me was seeing all of the artists who followed this person, right? And we're human, we make mistakes. It's entirely possible that they just weren't aware that this artist is from where they're from, or that the shop is from where they're from. The algorithm intentionally hides information from us, especially when it comes to global issues or anything that would go against the government here in the United States, right? It's very likely that you wouldn't have seen any political posts from them, even if the shop had been making political posts, right? You might have just missed that information generally, and it happens, you know, nobody's perfect. Nobody can be aware of everything all the time. I get that. I sympathize and can empathize with that. But seeing how many artists that I follow some of which who I plan on getting tattooed by, who I admire and look up to in their in the industry and for their art, following this account, and who knows how many other numerous accounts like this, right? Engaging with, interacting, platforming, supporting artists like this. I think this is why we need to start having these conversations. These things need to start being brought to the forefront. Even how you engage with people calling attention to the things that you support is also incredibly important, because why would you become defensive when someone lets you know that you are in fact following and therefore supporting someone or something like an entity, a shop, or whatever, who actively spread harmful misinformation or rhetoric or dog whistles against a group of people who are actively having a genocide committed against them as we speak? I don't know, that's crazy to me.
I'm throwing yams at you because tomatoes is too soft. They're gonna just pulverize once they hit your fat head.
Given the general state of the world and the general state of politics in the United States in particular, the powerhouse that is the United States, I don't expect less. We as individuals and we as like subgroups are oftentimes just a reflection of the overarching culture. The tattoo industry as a whole is going to be a reflection of our society at large and our culture as a whole. And our culture is rapidly swinging alt-right, swinging toward white supremacy. It is still reflected within these smaller groups and these smaller communities. And the tattoo community it's big, but you have like the tattoo community, then you have like the smaller group of people who are like tattoo collectors, tattoo enthusiasts, heavily tattooed people who are not in it just to get a tattoo or two, people who are like, this is a lifestyle choice. This is my people, this is my community. That group gets even smaller when you start narrowing down other marginalized identities. Black tattoo artists, queer tattoo artists of color, tattoo artists that are women, disabled tattoo artists. Now the pool is shrinking and shrinking and shrinking and getting smaller and smaller and smaller. Man, I don't even know what I was saying with that. I don't even know where I was going with that. Maybe I'll watch this back and I'll know what my rant was, but I don't know. My point is, do I have a point? Maybe I just had some feelings I needed to say out loud. I just think we need to start talking about this shit. It's not going to get better, and it's not going to be addressed until these conversations start being had, and on a large scale in the community, right? Because there are people who are doing the work. In fact, in this video, I'm going to tag some accounts that I know that I follow on like Instagram and on YouTube that are doing the work to try to spread awareness about tattoo culture and tattoo history and marginalized tattooed people within the industry as well as the experiences of tattooed people who are racialized, particularly Black and dark-skinned, and their experiences within the community and experiences with trying to find artists who have experience working on dark skin. I'll include some of those accounts so that you can follow and support them, because they are putting in the work and have been putting in the work for far longer than I have even been getting tattooed, let alone dove into the community and have been making content on it, you know? So I just want to see that spread. I want to see more of that. I love everything tattoo related. I follow so many different people on YouTube, from back in my little baby days when I was first getting tattooed, all the way to now as somebody who is finally in a position where I am blessed, lucky, and privileged enough to be able to travel the world to get tattooed by people who I have admired their skill for years. But I look at these accounts and I see how many of them don't have these discussions, don't bring it up. I don't know if it's that they just are unaware or that they just don't think about it. It's not a priority for them. I don't know what the reason is, but there's this lack of conversation. Even when I look at my following list of other tattoo enthusiasts that I follow, because I like to follow people who are interested in the same things as me, who are in community with me. They're all of them. And if y'all watching this right now know of anyone who is maybe here and not here, that is in the tattoo industry, collection, enthusiast, educational world that I can follow, please drop a comment below. Let me know, because no, I'm trying to follow them. But there's this vacuous hole that is missing that needs to be filled with tattoo artists and tattoo enthusiasts of color and other marginalized identities, so that we can wake it up, so that we can wake this up, so that we can have these conversations, and then hopefully these conversations turn from yap to action to real tangible change within the community. Anyway, if you've made it this far into this video, this was pretty raw. I wasn't really planning this at all, actually. We'll see how I end up editing this. If you could give it a like, a subscribe, a comment, maybe drop a little emoji below. Let me think. You drop a little world emoji, little globe emoji below, then I know that you stuck with it. You stuck with it. Just another yap session with Dime. Much love. Until the next one. Bye.